You're about to experience a very honest Zebec crypto network review. And long story short, I'm not impressed. I've reviewed thousands of altcoins, and I can make a lot more money if I told you why I thought Zebec Network was great, instead of telling you what I'm about to say. I've made this video as if I was going to give it to a friend or a family member, and that means I'm giving you the honest truth. The truth is, I don't have any Zebec. I've been aware of it for a while. I don't see any reason to buy it today. I think there's a lot of upside risk that you're unlikely to even go that high, and there's a lot of downside risk potential. Let's start with the price chart. Now, the price chart looks good, and this is where most people, their crypto research stops. They look at a price chart, they hear a narrative saying it could go up, but I go much deeper than that. This is hundreds of millions of dollars of market cap. And the reason this price chart's like that, because they migrated from the old contract to a new contract. Personally, I can't stand token migrations because investors lose money that aren't paying attention, that just come back, that didn't migrate and are like, why'd my coin go to zero? And this is a way to force a new price chart as well, which is one of the tactics that coins use, especially, that they're not happy with their last price chart. So they'll just migrate the token so that they can get a new price chart. To me, this is a sign that I'd want to stay away from it. Anytime I see like something like Polygon migrating from one to another, automatic stay away. Also, all the new stuff with the Nautilus Layer 3. A Layer 3, seriously, haven't we seen that Layer 2s haven't done very well? Now we need a Layer 3. And all the narratives and hype on this are based on what I would call centralized speculation. They're based on, like you have talk about, JP Morgan, narratives, and, JP Morgan's, they're behind it. JP Morgan is not invested in the ZBCN tokens and is not promoting ZBCN as an investment. This is a little bit of B2B infrastructure connection, which is not a big deal. We've seen so many crypto partnerships that crypto retail put a bunch of money into, and the partnership itself was basically useless. Like one of the classic ones is the Polygon and Starbucks partnership. I mean, useless, totally. And they just quietly sunsetted that one. People bought a whole bunch of the Polygon token off of it. And to me, all this stuff with Zebec feels just the same. Now, their website says they have hundreds of millions of dollars in payroll, which in payroll is not that much. That's a few hundred people making $1 million a year. That's a few thousand people making 100,000 a year. And so we're valuing that. We're valuing that at $300 million because they might, we don't have any external verification of this I can see, but they might have some people on payroll. Have you been to a BNI group and seen how many people are hustling payroll? And payroll is a big business. And when you have something like Internet Computer Protocol, which, yes, I have over 6,000, like 6,700 ICP. And I'm not a financial advisor. This isn't financial advice. This is an honest look at Zebec, the same way I would review it to a good friend or family member. The problem is there's financial incentives for me to tell you the opposite. And I'm one of the people that cares enough about you, even though I don't know you and I don't see you. I'm one of the few people who cares enough to tell you the truth, even though I'd make more money if I just said what so many others are saying. And if you consider, is anybody saying things about Zebec Network out of a genuine level of research and looking into the project and considering the best of what the rest of crypto has to offer, and then putting all that in context, and then, I don't see that. What I see is pretty much empty hype and speculation and using psychological authority bias to trigger, because these banks are, they're doing their partnership with NatPay, it processes all this billions annually. Access to payment networks is not the same as a reason that this Solana token, which now has its own layer 3, should be an investment that succeeds in the future. The fact is, out of thousands of cryptos over the last few years, the vast majority lose money. And in my opinion, Zebec Network is in a position to just be one of those. And I think the future is going to get worse for the majority of crypto. With the rise of AI and cybercrime, Zebec is not a base layer infrastructure. It's a coin on Solana with a layer 3 network. And that means it's in position to get not used by big institutions that more than likely these partnerships are not going to turn into any substantial use that will occur to the token. And the centralized points of failure are either likely to be taken offline at some point because they cost too much if the token price goes down, or they could get hacked into oblivion as AI hacking continues to rise. The tokenomics, some of you are excited about tokenomics, but deflationary is a narrative that gets those of us that don't think things through. The first priority is, where's the real utility for holding your token? What can I really do with your token that's valuable? Like with Internet Computer Protocol, you can actually burn ICP to pay your web hosting bill. And that's very valuable because web hosting is $1 trillion+ a year business. And ICP hosts the most secure, or at least easily secure, blockchains that anyone can just create now in Caffeine AI. That's real usage. By comparison, Zebec is totally speculative, and deflationary or not, why would people throw millions and millions more dollars into buying this token? Crypto is getting much more skeptical. And I imagine a lot of people holding Zebec are just waiting to exit at a profit, which means pumps are going to be limited. And there's, the staking APY, is that sustainable? And what does it matter if the price drops a significant amount, whatever staking APY you're getting? Zebec is extremely dependent on third parties. From what I see, is just trying to get in the middle like so many of these other cryptos are. And I don't see any reason to invest in something that's based on being in the middle instead of something like ICP that's sitting there to be the base layer for the future of the internet. The opportunity cost, you can't have the same money in multiple investments. So there's no way I would put $1 into Zebec, because I don't see that they're offering anything to the world that, in my opinion, has real value. And last I checked, payroll companies were doing just fine, and all the big banks were doing just fine, sending transfers with the same systems for the most part they've been using for 50 years. And I don't see why I'd want to invest in a coin tied up with advancing those narratives when ICP's out there building a new version of the internet. Zebec does have some reality to it, which is better than most, but it's something that to me looks very high risk, low reward, which is not something I'm interested in my portfolio. Thank you for watching this. If you found this useful, I reviewed this because those of you before left comments saying that please review Zebec. That's why I did. If you want more reviews like this, you can subscribe to Jerry Banfield Crypto Reviews. And if you want to see what I actually like, subscribe to Jerry Banfield ICP. And if you're a gamer, check out my Jerry Banfield Gaming channel. If you want to watch more videos on other subjects, check out my Jerry Banfield channel. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you again soon.